What's going on, everybody? Give me a second here, man. I just got finished watching the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's reunion, and got pretty emotional there, man. That James Avery part. Whew. All right. I'm good. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are enjoying your day. So, it's week 11, and we don't know what to make of the Ravens, which is... it's pretty scary. We don't know what they are. Are they a contender? Are they a pretender? What are the 2020 Ravens? We don't know. But we're going to have to find out soon. And this is one of those games we could find out what they're made of. This is definitely a marquee matchup. We're going up against the Tennessee Titans, who not only beat us last year in the divisional round, but are also the team most people point towards as a team that exposed Lamar Jackson and this Ravens offense. So, yeah, this is definitely an important game. The Titans themselves are struggling. They've lost 3 of the last 4 games, and they're looking to bounce back and get a much-needed win against a tough team such as the Ravens. Ravens lost on Sunday Night Football to the Patriots, and are trying to bounce back because they themselves have also been looking suspect and have lost 2 of the last 3 games. It has not looked well for the Ravens, and they're trying to bounce back. So both these teams need this win. It's going to be a great competitive matchup, and I can't wait to see how it goes down. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. Things are not looking good for us. It seems like Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams will both not be able to play in this game. It doesn't look like either of them will be able to suit up or anything like that. So, I don't know what they're going to do. Calais is going to be out for quite some time. I think his is week to week. Brandon Williams, I think it may be, I don't know how long his is, but it doesn't look like he's good to go for this game. As for Jimmy Smith and LJ Ford looks like he's going to be ready to go for Sunday's game. Jimmy Smith is still somewhat questionable. We'll see, but he did practice today. It was a limited. He practiced for some amount of time. It was a limited practice for him, but we still don't know about Jimmy Smith. So this is going to be an interesting game, guys. I'm sorry to say. I really don't know how to assess our chances against the Titans because of how injured our defense is right now. But we got to kind of figure it out. So let's talk about it. What do the Ravens need to do in order to beat the Tennessee Titans? Let's start defensively because that's the easiest one to talk about right now. Well, since you know Calais and Brandon Williams are most likely not playing, everybody else is going to have to step up. They're going to have to be a lot more physical, and they're going to have to make up for those 2 missing on our defensive line. Why? Because you're facing off against King Henry, and the number 1 priority for the Ravens defensively is to stop the run. King Henry is going to go out there and do his thing. And if we cannot slow him down, this game will be set. They will beat us by 10 and they will move on. We have to find a way to stop the run. If we cannot stop Derrick Henry, the game is set because he will just continue to run all over us. The same thing he did in the division round last year, he will do the same thing again. And we do not want that to happen. So this defense is going to have to find a way to step up and contain Derrick Henry. That is not easy to do. Because even when he's not going off, he still finds a way to get 100 yards. He's been the most consistent part of their offense. In fact, last week, they were struggling. And they've been struggling at times this season with the passing game. And they were struggling against the Colts on Thursday Night Football. And the one consistent part of that was working for them was the run game with Derrick Henry. I believe he had, 115 rushing yards? Despite the fact that they were struggling in the second half to pass, Derrick Henry was still doing his thing. And he started to rev it up in the second half. So you got to find a way to slow down Derrick Henry. If we cannot slow down Derrick Henry, this game is over. So, yeah, oh, man, I don't know what they're going to do in terms of trying to stop the run because your 2 main guys that are built to try and help stop this run aren't there. And especially with Calais Campbell, he was the guy we got specifically to stop Derrick Henry. And now that we're seeing Derrick Henry, he's not there to stop him. So this is scary, man. I really don't know if they can stop this run game. What can Wink Martindale actually do in terms of trying to set it up? It's not like he's just going to blitz every down in terms of trying to stop it. No, it's just like these guys are going to have to step up big. They're going to have to step up. They're going to have to make a stop, and they're going to have to try and slow down Henry. If we can't slow down King Henry, game over. Now, just because we have to put our focus in the run game does not mean we have to ignore the pass game. Derrick Henry is the number 1 threat on the Tennessee Titans, but the number 2 threat, and I don't want to bring it up, Ravens fans, because I heard a bunch of Ravens fans talking about we could have had him instead of Hollywood. A.J. Brown, this guy is a beast. If we let him go off in this game, it's a wrap. Him going off allows everyone else on the receiving core to get touches because now you got to put a focus on him, and it makes everyone else's job easier. Ryan Tannehill loves targeting A.J. Brown, and this guy is a beast. He will go out there, make plays, get open, and once he gets open in space, the man is big, but he is fast. Man, he's fast. He's a big-bodied, physical, fast receiver, and it's tough to bring him down. So, when it comes to him, no question, Humphrey's got to be the guy to cover him. It's up to you, Humphrey. You got to win that matchup, man. You cannot let A.J. Brown go off. If you let A.J. Brown go off, this game is as good as done. So, it's up to you, Humphrey. That's what you're going to have to do. And for the most part, last but not least, try to bring pressure to Ryan Tannehill, force him to make mistakes, and try to see if we can force a turnover. We couldn't force a turnover on Sunday Night Football against the Patriots, which kind of breaks a streak of, 15, 16 consecutive games where we forced a turnover. Who cares about the streak? It was about trying to win that game. But yeah, let's see if they can try and force a turnover against Tannehill this week. So, 3 things, man. Stop the run, contain A.J. Brown, and try to force Tannehill to make some mistakes. That's all our defense needs to do. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it well. I don't know if they can even stop Derrick Henry at all. But they got to find a way to execute, man. It's up to the defense to really show up in place of those 2 guys missing. Now let's move on to the offense. Whew. I don't know what to make of the offense right now, man. Losing Nick Boyle in that game against the Patriots really, really hurt everything the Ravens like to run on offense because he was a huge part of that. Not only with just blocking, but in receiving as well. He's become a lot more, prevalent in our specific pass game because he's also blocking, but man, he's able to get open too. And Lamar has been targeting him so much this season, and it's been successful too. So losing a guy like Nick Boyle, who is arguably the best tight end, in my opinion, he is the best blocking tight end. Let me repeat that. I accidentally said best tight end. He's the best blocking tight end in the league. I know people say Kittle, but I just feel like Nick Boyle is just a little bit better. Y'all can debate me on this all day, but I just feel like Nick Boyle is a little bit better of a blocker than Kittle. Now, of course, Kittle's a better total overall tight end, but I think Nick Boyle's got him beat with blocking. So losing a guy like that is not only going to harm your pass game, but it's going to harm the run game because he was so useful for blocking. He was that extra block our offensive line needed, and now that he's gone, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. You still have Patrick Ricard, but Nick Boyle helped add to that. And since he was our best blocking tight end, man, and arguably the best blocker in our receiving core, losing him is going to hurt. So what do we do now? Well, Greg Roman talked about that in his press conference today, I believe, and he talked about kind of changing the identity of the offense. I don't know what that means, and a lot of fans aren't really believing what Greg Roman's saying. It's like, are you really going to change the identity of the offense, or are you just going to go out there and run the same thing? We don't know what Greg Roman's specifically talking about. I don't know what he means by changing the identity of the offense, but we're going to have to figure out. Now, of course, we lost Nick Boyle, but we did sign Luke Wilson, who is on, I believe he's still on our practice squad. They may be looking to bring him in and activate him for Sunday's game, but who knows? But still, even though you brought this guy in and he definitely could contribute something maybe moving forward, or who knows, maybe even in this game, you still can't expect him to have that level of impact Boyle had. So, what are we going to do on offense? If Boyle's missing, he was a huge part of what worked and what was successful in both the run and passing game when it came to blocking, and in some cases getting open in the receiving game. What are we going to do? Well, Greg Roman, you talked about changing the identity. I think it's time you use these receivers, man. This may be the most amount of times we use 3 receiver sets this entire season. I'm thinking Greg Roman's going to sit back and think, now that we've lost this tight end, and it's really only down to Andrews, and we might, activate Luke and prepare him for this game, I feel like Greg Roman's going to be like, it's time to depend on these receivers, so we got to use these receivers. We may end up running more of a spread offense this week. I don't know what to expect from the passing game. Running-wise, I know what to expect. I know what I'm going to get from JK. I know what I'm going to get from Gus. And I know Ingram, he just got back from injury. But when he's there, you know what he's going to get, which is why I personally feel at this point, Ravens, it's time to figure out Who is going to be your number one back? Who's going to be in when we need him to be in from the most crucial situations? I love Ingram to death, but he should not be the number one back. You can either choose J.K. Dobbins or you can choose Gus Edwards. I personally feel Gus Edwards would be a great number one for us. And then J.K. Dobbins could be that second guy who comes in as that speedy guy and definitely who can also help out with the receiving part because he can be in the backfield and catch those quick passes. He definitely got that talent. He's so swift and he can, cut and make those juke moves. So he would definitely help being the second back. But Ravens are trying to figure that out. They're trying to utilize all their 3 running backs, even though they have 4 and they don't use Justice Hill, but that's a different situation. But yeah, they're trying to utilize all 3 of these guys, and I just feel like at this point, you got to pick who your main guy is and give him the most amount of carries. And then from there, you move forward, you kind of alternate to your second and then give a couple carries to your third. They have to figure that part out. But as for the pass game, I don't know. This may be the week we see 3 receiver sets. The receivers are most likely going to get involved because now that you've lost another tight end, you got to get these receivers involved. Will this be the week we see Dez Bryant? I have no clue. You got them going on Twitter. You got Jameson showing video of Lamar Jackson throwing to Dez Bryant. I'm like, that's great and all, but does that mean he's going to be activated or not? Are the Ravens really just going to break the fans' heart and be like, well, we're going to show we're clearly working and practicing with him, but then when it comes to game time, we're just not going to activate him? Like, are they going to use Dez Bryant or not? If there's any week to use Dez Bryant, now would be the week. You lost Amanda Boyle, bring in Dez. Let's see what he can bring to the table. This is the perfect week for that, and it's up to them, man. But yeah, in terms of what we need to do to win this game, it's going to come down to the receivers, man. I feel like the run game is always going to be great, and I believe the run game is definitely going to make an impact in this game. We got to be able to run the football, no question. That is our identity for the most part on offense in general. Run the football. But passing-wise, it's going to come down to these receivers matching up with Tennessee's secondary. Now, Tennessee's defense has been shaky for the last couple weeks. They've been shaky. They've been inconsistent. They've been trying to figure it out. The Colts found a way to expose that defense last week on Thursday Night Football. But, they got to figure something out. They really got to figure something out. That Titans defense got to figure something out. And this is the opportunity for them to do so against receivers like Baltimore, which is why Baltimore's receivers need to step up. Willie Snead kind of talked about that after the Patriots game, after the Patriots lost when in the press conference. He started talking about how guys got to step up. We're going to have to figure out what the Ravens are as an identity this week. We need to know that because next week, you're going to Heinz Field to face off against the Steelers. And most likely, they will be undefeated. So we need to know what this Ravens squad is made of. It's time, guys. Guys got to step up. Guys got to do their thing. Guys got to execute. Everybody. That includes Lamar. Now, again, last week wasn't even his fault for the most part. He only made 2 mistakes. Both of them should have been picks, but honestly, 3 mistakes. The first deep pass to Hollywood that wasn't picked off, that was a mistake. He forced it to Hollywood. Shouldn't have done that. The second one got picked off. Shouldn't have done that again. The third one was 3rd and 15 and almost got picked off. That was just bad on him. But yeah, he only really made 3 mistakes. Other than that, Lamar was not at fault. That was just pretty much everyone else just not being able to execute and do their job. What we need in general this week, everybody's got to execute. Offensive line, execute, block, protect Lamar Jackson. Please protect Lamar Jackson. Score, if you're the center this week, get it together, my friend. By the way, y'all been saying I swear I hate when fans do this. How y'all gonna threaten this man's family because he failed to show up and perform in a football game? Some of y'all need to check y'all priorities because it's a game, man. It's a game. At the end of the day, when the game's over, we got to move on and go do our own lives. These are people too. Stop getting so into a game and threatening these people's families. That's just terrible. What type of sick human being does that? Get it together. You guys are seriously terrible. This is why non-sports fans look at sports fans like they're freaking psychotic. Get it together, man. But yeah, Skur, you got to be on point this week, man. You got to be on point with the snapping. So you got to be able to execute. The offensive line has to be able to protect. And for God's sakes, man, we got to fix these penalties. I don't know if we can actually fix these illegal formation penalties because it's just been something that's been consistent. If we could fix it, I would love for us to, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But at least if we could fix the protection on Lamar Jackson, it would help out. So offensive line, show up and do your job. Skura, show up and do your job. And most importantly, this receiving core in general, show up, execute, get open. Just get open. Show up, execute, get open, catch the football. That's all I need. That's all I need. Just catch the football when it comes your way. And Lamar, you going to have to be on point. This Titans team is going to throw zone at you the entire game. You're going to have to attack the soft parts of the zone. And when there's a receiver there, you got to get the ball to him accurately. Make the plays, Lamar. Make the plays. If your receiving core shows up in this game, I need you to make the throws that are going to help us win this game. I think it's going to come down to our receiving core. With that being said, to end it off, how do I see this game going? I have no clue. If the Ravens are going to win, it's going to be a 23-20 type game. They're going to win 23-20 because Tucker is just legit. Other than that, I don't see. It's either we win the game by like 3 points or we lose by 10. So it's going to be either 23-20 or maybe something like 24-14. Either we win 23-20 or we lose 24-20 to the Titans. Because if they get that run game going, they're just going to kill the clock and they're going to manage to put up points. That's just how I see it. Now, for all I know, maybe the receivers show up, maybe it's an entirely different offense, and maybe we smoke the Titans. Who knows? If we do, I will definitely be here to celebrate. But I don't see that happening, not with this offense. They have not proven they can do that right now. So, yeah, I'm going to pick the Ravens to win this 23-20, and just hope for the best, man. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got. It's been a crazy week for me. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of work I had to do and stuff. I don't want to get into that. But, yeah, it's been a crazy week. Hopefully, the Ravens come out with a W and let's move to 7-3. Because right now, we can't mess around in the AFC. There is 9 teams with over 6 wins in the AFC. We cannot mess around. We need to make the playoffs. With that being said, that's all I got, man. And I'm out of here. Peace. Go Ravens. Come on, Ravens, man. Don't lose this game. You can't lose to the Titans, bro.